What's up, Metaverse? I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm Ben Owens Photography. This is my first YouTube video. It's going to be a little scrappy, but here we are. Let's get into it.
Okay, team, so blockchain, Bitcoin, Metaverse, CryptoPunks, gas fees, Discord, NFTs, it's a lot. And what does it all mean? And do we even care? One thing is for sure, there's definitely no escaping this wild new crypto meta universe that's coming at us at 100 miles an hour. And there's no escaping NFTs. They are everywhere right now. Like celebrities are updating their bio pictures with their NFT avatar. Major League Sports are going all in. Even Staples Arena in LA has been rebranded as Crypto.com. And major sports apparel brands like Nike, for example, they're already filing patents on digitized shoes that can be bought and sold in the metaverse. Yeah, like Zuckerberg's metaverse. So one day, really soon, you'll be able to buy your own virtual Air Jordans to wear in the metaverse as NFTs. It's completely wild. And Disney, for example, like getting in on the action with exclusive NFT drops of their favorite moments or their classic moments that are commanding crazy prices and generating serious amounts of FOMO in the NFT trading community. So why are NFTs such a hype right now? And is it just one digitized flex culture bubble that's set to burst? Or are we really in the midst of a digital and cultural revolution that's here to stay? And importantly, and perhaps while I'm sharing this video as my first topic of conversation for my first YouTube video, as photographers, should we be even getting involved in the NFT space, if at all? And is it even necessary? Well, like all things, it kind of depends on your own personal and professional goals as a photographer, and also whether you're interested enough about this wild new crypto NFT future, and whether you really see any inherent value in it for you personally or for your artwork. But like anything new, so much of it comes down to getting educated enough on the subject in order to make your own informed decisions. And for me personally, I kind of look at it like this. The industry is constantly moving and it's adapting. It always has, from like film to digital, from print to online. It's always evolving to keep up with changes in technology and consumer tastes and trends. And right now that trend is shifting really quickly into this new decentralized digital economy and community, or as Zuckerberg likes to call it, the metaverse. And it's wild. But do I think it's the right direction to be heading for in our industry as photographers or for humanity as a whole? It's probably really not for me to say, but do I think it's inevitable? Yeah, absolutely. And do I think there are definite benefits for photographers in this space? Yeah, absolutely there is. I mean, any platform or technology that supports getting more eyeballs and potentially more dollars for your work and for your art is something, in my opinion, definitely worth checking out. And so many of our respected industry peers, like celebrity headshot photographer Peter Hurley, Lindsay Adler, and many other big-name photographers are already well established in this decentralized space. And they're already releasing their own NFT collections on the daily. Some are even creating their own super cool metaverse communities. A good example would be Peter Hurley's Shebangaville, where photography peers who own their unique NFT avatars called Shebangas can come together. I know it sounds wild, right? Can come together virtually to share skills, trade digital assets, and to generally hang out and meet other like-minded photographers in the space. So yeah, we're definitely entering a wild new world, but it's also a really exciting time for creators who now have access to some of the brightest industry minds through this next sort of decentralized iteration of the internet.
So before we get started, just full disclosure, full disclaimer, I'm no authority in this space or claim to be any kind of expert in the NFT crypto world. I'm just an analog guy, photographer, trying to make sense of the NFT space. I thought that maybe I'd share my experience with you. What I can tell you is that like learning about NFTs and crypto and blockchain and metaverse online is kind of like drinking through a funnel at like 135 miles an hour. There's just so much information out there, and it comes at you hard and fast, and it can be pretty overwhelming. So my goal of this video really is to just simplify it all, because it doesn't really need to be that hard, because in essence, it's really quite basic. And so I thought I'd share my experience with you and sort of walk you through some of the steps of minting an NFT, which I did. And hopefully you'll get something out of this too. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What's an NFT? So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And in its simplest form, fungible means something that can be duplicated or replicated by another identical item, kind of like cloning. But by being non-fungible, well, it kind of speaks for itself. It can't be replicated. It's a unique individual just like you. And in the world of NFTs, think of it as digitized art pieces with unique identifiers that can be traded among peers through a digital network. You've probably heard the term blockchain. So really, it's just a modern interpretation of a physical auction house or art gallery. So when you mint, or say list your piece and set your price on an NFT marketplace like OpenSea, for example, that unique non-fungible identifier which is generated, that's what gives NFTs their inherent value when they are passed and sold from the original owner to a new owner. Think of it as kind of like a certificate of authenticity if you're selling an original limited edition print, or a license plate, or even better, I like to think of it as a chain of custody. So really that unique serial number can be traced right back from each owner as it's bought and sold in the marketplace, right back to the original owner, to show that it's authentic. So you might be thinking, like I used to think, couldn't someone just go to your website, take a screenshot of one of your photographs, then go and upload it to the likes of OpenSea and call it their own NFT? Well, technically they could, but just like in the physical art space in the real world, they don't own that copyright to that image. It sits with the original owner. So they could upload it, but it would be worthless. It wouldn't be worth anything because they don't own the copyright, just like in the real space.
You're probably wondering, how do you mint your first NFT? So to mint your NFT, there's a couple of key things that have to happen before you can even start the process. First of all, I'm just going to show you the NFT trading platform that I use. I use OpenSea. There are a bunch of others out there like OpenSea and Foundation app, which is this one here. So Foundation is really great. It's got a great collection of artists, mixed media artists, but it is invite only. So unless you know someone, I'm not that cool, so I haven't had an invite yet from Foundation. So for me, I chose to use OpenSea, which is the world's largest open source NFT trading platform, and you don't need an invite. It's not exclusive, but there's a lot of content on here, so you've really got to stand out. But hey, like I always say, your art will be for somebody, and sometimes it's not, but it's worth trying, right? So in order to get started in trading on the likes of OpenSea, you're gonna need cryptocurrency. So that cryptocurrency of choice for nearly all of these programs is Ethereum, or ETH for short. You've no doubt heard of Bitcoin. It's the world's largest traded cryptocurrency by volume. ETH would be the second, and nearly all of these platforms, they exclusively use Ethereum in order to list, mint, buy, and sell NFTs in the marketplace. So how do you get Ethereum? So basically, the first thing you want to do is download a coin trading app, a crypto trading app. I use Coinbase, and I download that straight from the App Store to my cell phone. And from here, I connect that to my bank so that then I can actually start purchasing crypto coins. To give you an idea, crypto coins, they're not traded dollar for dollar, just kind of like stocks, right? So right now, one Ethereum, which is the second one here, that's currently trading at 5,638 Canadian dollars. That's for one, okay? So it's a lot. You don't need that much to get you started trading NFTs or listing your own. So what I recommend is once you connect your bank account to the likes of Coinbase, maybe transfer $200 or $300 to get you started. What you need to know is that when you list an NFT or mint an NFT, it's going to cost you money, okay? It's going to cost you what they call a gas fee or a transaction fee. I like to call it a transaction fee. And that gas fee can actually change. And it can change based on volume on the network. So if it's really busy, I think of it like the stock market. If it's really busy, there's a lot of people trading, and the network is busy, then that gas fee is going to be higher. You can't really control when that is, from my experience. And what I know is when I minted my NFT, it cost me about 60 Canadian dollars just to list the NFT. So, not insignificant. I can show you mine here. So this is my site, which I just set up a couple of weeks ago. So you got to come in, you got to set up a profile, you got to put a little bit of information about yourself. You can link your social channels, and then you can actually list your NFTs here. So before you can actually list your NFT and put it on the marketplace, you're going to need some Ethereum in your wallet, okay? That's one piece I didn't cover a little bit earlier, so I'm just going to backtrack a little bit here. So once you've set up your Coinbase trading app and you've got some Ethereum in your Coinbase trading account, you're then going to need to connect that to a wallet, okay? So all of these sites require a wallet, just like you would be walking into a store. You're going to need a wallet to take your cash out of, so that's how I think of it. So you're going to need to download a wallet. Nearly all of these sites use MetaMask. It's the most popular, okay? And you can download MetaMask either to your PC or your Mac or to your phone as an app, okay? And then once you're connected, and here's what's really, really important. When you download the app, it's going to give you a sequence or like a secret password, if you like, and it's really important you don't lose that, right? So this is the password that's going to ensure that your crypto or your Ethereum is safe in that wallet, okay? So if anything ever happens and you need to access your wallet from somewhere else, you need to make sure that you keep this special password which they give you. It's usually like a 15-word password, if you like. Thing I did, I just wrote it down and kept it somewhere safe. I didn't keep it on my phone in case I lost it or in my notes. So I physically wrote it down. Good idea to keep it in two separate places because at the end of the day, crypto, it's real money, right? So if you end up trading pretty heavily in NFTs, you end up with a ton of, hopefully, cryptocurrency in your wallet. You do not want to lose access to it. So once you get set up, it'll give you a password and make sure you keep it safe. I'll leave a link down below so you can, with some steps, so you can figure out how to do it yourself in your own time. But just make sure that you connect your wallet because you'll need to before you can actually upload one of your NFTs. You've connected your wallet and you have some Ethereum. Now you're ready to mint your first NFT. So on the OpenSea homepage, you're going to head up to Create, and this is where you're going to upload your artwork. Now, it's worth pointing out that your artwork doesn't need to be a static image. As photographers, it likely will be. At least that was the case for me for my first NFT. But it could also be a moving image. Like it could be a GIF, it could be a cinematograph, it could be a 3D animation, it could be a short video. As long as it's under 100 megabytes and there's an audience for it, you can upload it as an NFT. Now, I'm not going to do that today on this video. I don't have another NFT ready to go, but I will go through the steps for you so that when you're ready to do it in your own time, when you feel comfortable, you have the steps and know how to do it. So the first thing you're going to do is give it a name. And then from there, you can choose to link back to your website to provide a little bit more information and context about your collection. I actually think it's a really good idea. I mean, if anyone's going to be investing in your work as a collector, you want them to know who you are and what you're all about. So for me, I keep my NFTs under my personal work. Now, I just have the one collection called Bloom that I shot with my friend Johnny last summer, with the original intent, actually, that I was always going to do this collection as NFTs, but also as cinemagraphs, as a moving image. Now, I didn't quite figure that out to get these flowers moving in the way I actually wanted, so I just left it as a static image. Nonetheless, I still think it's really powerful, impactful, bright, colorful image that should do well once I put it up for auction. So on my site, I just have a brief description of what my motivation is behind the collection, plus the price I might set for it when I do put it up on OpenSea. This is just a parking lot. I'm not sure what I want to put it up for yet. And then I also put how many editions there are. So along with that, I keep a few other images that I shot with the collection just to provide a bit more context. Now, I probably won't put all of these up as NFTs. I think it's worth stating that it's a really good idea just to start with one. We know it costs money to list an NFT, and you want to see how it goes, right? Like I always say, your art isn't for everybody, but it is for somebody. So it might take you some time for there to be any traction, if at all. But don't be discouraged. Just see what happens and start with one, see how it goes. And then look, if it does sell, fantastic. And then you might want to put another one up. For me, I might choose this one as a complementary piece, just to create a cohesive collection. And who knows, that same buyer of your first one, they might like your second one. Okay, so From here, then you can add a description. You can just copy and paste that straight from your website. And then you can choose to add a few more details and stats about the work if you want to. You can also add unlockable content, which can be revealed by the owner of the item. And also too, there are some controls here too, if your item might be of sensitive or explicit nature. And also too, importantly, that the supply, so the number of copies that can be minted. Now this is hard set at 1 because it makes total sense. For something to be non-fungible, it's just going to be 1 of 1, okay? And if you want to read about it here, you can just have a little peruse of the glossary of terms, basically all the stuff we went over in this video, but it's all on here as well. Okay, and down here too, freeze metadata. So this is a really important step and something to keep in mind, that whatever you upload here at the top, it needs to be your final iteration. Like, it has to be the final version. There's no going back. So the actual item you are uploading here, right, in whatever format you choose to do so, it's the actual piece that will be traded on the blockchain. So this is your artwork. So although it's a representation of a photograph you might have taken in the past, the actual physical item that has the value is the item on the blockchain, okay? So it's really important that when you upload it to the site, it's your final version. There's no going backsies. So if you make a mistake and you didn't edit it in the way that you wanted to edit, and you want to start again, well, you're going to have to take that one down and start the process again, and it costs money. So just be sure that whatever edition you put up here, it's your final version. Okay, and then once that's locked in, this is when you freeze your metadata. And what that does, it freezes all the information attached to that item, including obviously the edit that you just did, the final edit, plus all the metadata. So once it's frozen, then that's it. It lives up on the blockchain, and that's when it generates the unique code which is applicable to that unique item. So you've just minted your first NFT, and that's it, right? Well, not quite. You still got to sell your NFT, and to do that, you're going to put it up for auction in the marketplace. But that's not something we're going to cover today in this video. I'll probably cover that briefly in my Instagram Reels or in my stories. Or now that you have a little bit more information about NFTs and the process, you can probably look online to figure out how to do that yourself. And also the other reason is I actually want to create a little bit of community engagement and a little bit of buzz around this NFT before I put it up for auction myself. So like anything that's new, and especially NFTs, they do better when there's community engagement around them, creating a little bit of hype. So I'm going to pump this through my social channels and probably get Johnny to do the same to create a little bit of a buzz. But today I really just wanted to give you an overview of the NFT process, what it could mean for photographers in the space. So I really hope you've got something out of today's video. It's been my first YouTube video, probably a little scrappy, but here we are. They can only get better. And so thank you so much for joining today. Please subscribe to my channel, check out the links below. And like I always like to say, make it count, and we'll see you soon.